Hello, I'm the 10-minute English teacher. Let's get you exam ready. Today we're thinking about grammar and I'm going to be teaching you how to list using semicolons. Before we get going, don't forget to like and subscribe. There are plenty of things on the channel to help you with your grammar. Okay, let's learn how to list using semicolons. And we're going to start by thinking about what a semicolon is and what one looks like. There is a semicolon for you. You've got a comma on the line with a full stop floating above it. Now let's think about how we might use one. So here are two sentences which are about the same subject, the dirty car, and it's being paid for to be washed. So we've got the first sentence there, I've paid for you to wash my car. The second sentence is, I expect a full refund, it's filthy. We're still talking about the car here. They're both linked together. They belong together in many ways. So you can use a semicolon to link them to show their strong relationship. So here's the sentences joined together with a semicolon. I've paid for you to wash my car. I expect a full refund is filthy. So now we've got those two independent clauses joined by that semicolon to show their relationship. Now you could have used a comma and we can see what that looks like here. I've paid for you to wash my car. I expect a full refund. It's filthy. Now we've used commas there in place of the semicolon to separate the two independent clauses. And it just seems a little bit ranty, a little bit shouty. It's a lot more controlled if you use the semicolon. I've paid for you to wash my car. I expect a full refund. It's filthy. So there we are. So there's an example of how we might use a semicolon. Now we're going to move on to think about how we might use semicolons in a list. So we're going to go shopping and this is what we're going to buy. We're going to buy a banana, we're going to buy a pineapple, we're going to buy a mango, and we're going to buy a can of drink. Let's look at what that looks like as a list. I went to the shops and bought a banana, a pineapple, a mango, and a can of drink. Now that's quite conventional. We've used commas to separate the items in the list. Now let's see what happens if we add a little bit of extra information about one of those items. So now we've got a pineapple, my favourite thing, a mango, and a can of drink. So we've added extra information to explain a little bit more about our relationship with the pineapple. Now the problem with that is it's hard for us to look at that and tell whether or not it's an extra subject or a subordinate clause. So that could be someone buying their favourite thing. Because of the way that sentence is constructed using commas, it looks like that could be another item in the list. So there is a way to fix that. And we need to use a semicolon. So in this sentence, we've used semicolons to separate the different items. I went to the shops and bought a banana, a pineapple, my favourite thing, a mango, and a can of drink. So my favourite thing we know is about the pineapple because the semicolons are separating each item in the list. There is one thing that's important to bear in mind here. We've used an Oxford semicolon. So the final item in the list has also been separated by a semicolon. We've got semicolon and a can of drink. That isn't something that's stylistic or optional. You have to use that before the final item in the list if you're using semicolons. Okay, let's take it further. Some things for you to do. Write 3 sentences using semicolons to join 2 independent clauses, like you saw in the first example. Each side of the semicolon needs to be a sentence in its own right. So to check your own work back, imagine the semicolon that you've used was a full stop instead. Both sides of your semicolon make sense. Another thing to do is write your own shopping list using semicolons. You can copy my example as a guide. Make sure that you use your Oxford semicolon before the final item. And another thing you can do is write about 3 people arriving at a restaurant together. Use semicolons as you introduce each character to extend the sentence. So you're doing the same thing as you would be doing with a shopping list, but now that you're writing a piece of fiction and you're taking the information about each character a little bit further, you're doing something quite complex and technical without it looking like a list necessarily, but the rules are the same. Okay, check out the other videos on my channel. I'll continue to add content. Feel free to ask something you'd like to see me cover in the comment section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and keep revising.